And we're live after some technical difficulties, but we're here now. Hello and welcome everyone to another segment of the Wide World of Warhammer. With us, we've got the best good-looking bunch of blokes I've seen. I mean, this podcast so far, easily. We got Fued. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, pretty good.
We got Mr. BD himself, Mr. McMillan, the captain. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, just the BD is just like it's just coming out of me right now. It's everywhere.
And the Catachan himself, Mr. Tim Wallace. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Just soaking up my holidays before I come back and deal with these fucking plebs in person.
Oh, look, this trash talk's already happening. Idiot plebs. I'm sure you're so regardless, Tim, and just went crap.
Look, there was a few bare bones lists that it was just net listed, right? You know, it's just they just needed a guard player, so they went with a comfort list. Nothing too crazy.
There you go. Whereas New South Wales has the real source. And we're here tonight to talk to them about like how they're heading up into this new ANZ Team Champs for 2023. Went very well last year, and hopefully to, I'm sure, snag a win overall this year. So, but firstly, before we get stuck into the details, so go around the room. So, Feud, how'd you get into 40K yourself, and how long have you been playing for?
So I started at the end of 7th ed. Me and my son at the time, he was, I think it was 11.
What do you mean, son? At the time, did he disappear?
Well, he doesn't play 40K anymore. We went into a double tournament. Here I am with my Dark Vengeance Chaos set, and he's got a couple of Necron Warriors. We play Triptide, we play Demon Summoning Spam, and we play Eldar Brave Knights. And yeah, I didn't play 40K for a while after that until 8th dropped. So playing for a while. Love playing Chudy armies, and I'm on New South Wales.
Ah, there we go. And yeah, you've been here ever since, and I'm absolutely crushing it. Taking always some weird lists, something a bit different. Obviously, you had the Nurgle Demons, or Death Guard with Nurgle Demons.
Yeah, I like
stuff, which is
thank you, things.
Like
if I can drive tanks or move around little guys, why would I choose to move around little guys?
More than fair. We've got Mr. BDE himself. So, Josh, how long have you been playing 40K for, and how did you get into the hobby?
What was it? Sort of like near the start of 8th edition. What's that? 2017, 2018. So I started playing Warhammer because like I was playing footy and like racing motocross, and I just kept getting hurt. So I needed like a hobby that I could like do without affecting my work, like a self-employed. So, you know, I needed a hobby that didn't affect my work life. And yeah, I started playing and got hooked. And
there you go. They just put super glue and stuff all over you, and hopefully don't get some in your eye along the way.
I put glue on myself all the time at work, so I was like, "This is perfect." It's just like work and home life, the same thing.
There you go. Easy done. You could have disguised it at least. Maybe some paint and stuff. Like, it's just part of the trade, I swear.
What's paint? There's no paint. Dan paints our models.
More than fair. Silly question. What is this hobby?
What is hobbying? Just put the models on the table, let me move, and roll some dice.
There we go. And then Timmy, so as I alluded to before, a guard extraordinaire, the Catachan himself. So, but how long have you been playing 40K for, Tim?
Pretty much like the start of 9th, hey. So I had old models, never really played. What is now known as the Wednesday Night Boys. A few of them started slowly coercing me. Tyson Deeks really pushed for it. And then I just caved one afternoon, went down to the local game store with what models I had, tried to play as best I could with them, and slowly but surely just quickly spent a lot of money on more plastic figures and haven't looked back. So probably about 2 years, maybe nearly 3, you know.
You've been a soldier throughout, though. Have you only played Imperial Guard? As far as I'm aware, you
only played Imperial Guard. Yeah, never picked up another army. Don't want to.
What's the reasoning behind it? You just like what inspired to be the Catachans, like just embody it day by day, month by month.
I mean, so when I first started, like not even playing, but just hearing about it through our group of friends, like they all have a different army at the time. So to keep it like fresh and no one just doubling up and everyone going, oh, look, we're all just Marines or demons or fucking elves. Like, we just said everyone picks a different army. And I already had these models and no one had that army. So I just went down that route.
He stayed that route the whole course. So he was pre-bandwagon.
Just stayed it.
Absolutely.
I was I saw the meta 2 years ago.
There we go. We can't accuse Tim Wallace of pre-bandwagoning, that's for sure. Unlike Hewitt from ACT, absolute bandwagon at the worst. The absolute worst. But so obviously last year you guys came third overall, and so Fued and Josh, you were part of that team last year. Tim joining this year as a coach for the first time. So Josh, maybe like recap. So how did you guys go last year overall? Like came third. Were you happy with it, or like maybe recap how the event went overall?
We're as happy as we can be, sort of thing. Like it's New South Wales is building up to where we are at the moment, and the community was building. I actually lost my voice for the whole event, so that was fucking very exciting. Trying to do pairings and trying to play games, I was pointing at models and trying to explain what was happening by just pointing and rolling. So the big thing for us is we didn't have a lot of experience with WTC players and the pairing system, and actually understanding how important that is. Not just rocking up and just cool, you can play him, and understanding the concept behind the pairings. I think I talked to Fued for like 3 hours today, just pairing into Tasmania, just because they're at the peak of 40k prime. Like we're so worried about them, and we just want to spend a lot of time with them today. So
completely understand. I mean, they're a scary bunch of blokes. I mean, all those events down there, like you never know. Liam Hogwood, like
I thought you were talking about their fingers. I thought that you were talking about all their fingers. You're worried about all them fingers.
Oh, too good. But, so, Fued, was it your first time at ANZ TC last year, or had you been before?
I did go once on the ACT Merc team, I think once.
Pay to win.
Yeah, that was a bit of a... we jumped in at the last minute and filled in a spot. But last year was the first proper year where we actually came together as a team and thought about things more than a week before. So...
Yeah, more than fair. And then, obviously, so Josh, yourself, so you're part of the team that went over to WTC. What was that experience like, and what was the biggest thing you learned from it? So obviously, sounds like at ANZ TC, you learned how important the pairings process was. You took some good players. So New South Wales is a very good state in terms of players. But what was that WTC experience like, obviously going for the training camp and then actually being there at the event and learning about how Australia won the whole damn thing?
Just actually going through the whole process, obviously the training camp, and understanding how important it is. Just the first 2 turns, you can pretty much predict what's going to happen in the game in the first couple of turns. Not many games will actually go to turn 4 and turn 5 without actually knowing what's happening. Being able to, what would it be, like play and manage, work. There's a lot of things that I learned, and it's sort of too hard to explain, sort of thing. It's a lot of trial by fire sort of thing over at WTC, playing against a lot of the top players, seeing how they play. And the biggest thing is to take away from all of it is at the other side of the table, when you're playing the game, it's just another person. It doesn't matter what name's there, or I've noticed that a lot in pairings that like certain pairings will be, say green, and then all of a sudden I'll see who's playing it, and then all of a sudden it'll be a red. I'll be like, it's the exact same list that you just paired a green into. A lot of people, what would be the word for it? They concede before the game's even started when they're playing the bigger players, which is a big thing to take into account when you're doing pairings and stuff like that. And I don't know, everyone's just human. Like I played a bunch of when we were in the training camp, I played a lot of assistants lists from around the world, and I was just like, no matter how good the player is, the list just crumbled. It didn't matter who was on the other side of the table or what you did. And the sort of that aspect to take into it is pretty big, that it's, it's just another person on the other side of the table, and everyone's human and everyone makes mistakes. And you need to take into account when you're playing the person on the other side of the table that they're only human. It doesn't matter what they did before the game, or, it's just being being present at that moment and not selling yourself short, before you actually play the game. You're not going to the table and being like, I've lost this game. You need to take every game as it comes, sort of thing. Like, in life, you take every day as it comes. So, you don't go, I'm going to die today. So, when you go to the table, you don't go, I'm going to lose today.
And that's a good point there. And very, very true. But obviously, people, when they see Eric or Hayden's this is Eric's or Hayden's list, it's immediately a red, or Liam, oh shit, it's red now. But if it's anyone else, in pairings, you should just assume it's the best player playing it optimally. You can't assume it's going to be a crap player playing. You have to assume the best, and then obviously it is what it is. So yeah, that's very, very good advice, and good learning experience just to visualize and see. It's oh, okay, cool, how people do it. So if you heading into this year, so you're the vice captain. What are some of the biggest things that you sort of want to implement for this year? Got a bit of a new squad, but also some good returning players who are obviously very, very good with 5 WTC members forming part of Team New South Wales.
Yeah, so we've got multiple WTC members, and nearly everyone else on the team's won multiple GTs. I think the talent there at New South Wales is right up there. Can be a bit intimidating at times when you're like, okay, well, he's won 4 or 5 GTs, he's won 3 or 4. I won one once. That counts, right? But yeah, there's just so much good players there, and they're if you have questions, they're all quick to answer and help out with that. So it's good knowledge, mate.
Yeah, the only one that's not quick is fucking Chris. Chris, right? I'm calling you out right now. You suck at replying.
He just has to put the calculations in. I mean, the Terminator himself has to go through ChatGPT and quickly plug it in and think and make sure, then plug the answers out, and then you'll get the good stuff afterwards.
He's been good at pairings, but the last however many months, terrible to get hold of. As soon as it comes to pairings, here's your numbers, and then he's back out, bounces out. In for numbers, out for everything else.
Yeah, he just dropped 20 on everyone and just goes, there we go.
Yeah. He goes, what did I get last year? We'll put the same number in.
Oh, too good. Completely different list, between high Doom, Elder, and Space.
It doesn't matter. It's Chris. He's just going to 20 all you dogs anyway. So, we're going to put Chris up first, and who wants to get 20? So, what's up?
Easy. What a great pairing strategy. Just play 6-man teams, 8-mans. What is this? Basically. Look at that. So Timmy, first year attending the New South Wales, or being part of the New South Wales teams, being the coach, what's been sort of the biggest learnings you've had joining? So joining a teams event, something you're not the most familiar with, from what I understand, and being a coach, how's it been and what have you learned?
Look, it's been different as well. Obviously I'm a pretty, mid-table by now. I hope I'm never really top tables. I end up just unluckily pairing a lot of the higher tier players early on, in round 2 or 3 in a 2-day event, and then obviously get stomped to the ground. And it was even worse, before Guard got their lovely codex. What have I learned? Just how to mentally approach each and every game, right? So how Fued and Josh have both spoken about how you walk up to a table and you see your opponent, and sometimes it's not even the army, and you just go, yeah, all right, I've probably lost this one. And there's not much I can do. Practice for me was never going to be I walk up and I'm oh, I could maybe beat Josh McMillan. It's right now I'm just going to let Josh learn what Guard can do, or what, any of the other members. I'm going to let them know all the tips and tricks that I know as a Guard faction master. This is what they can do. So just be aware. But this is also how you beat them as well. If this is how you want to beat this specific list, all you need to do is this, right? And my role as a coach has kind of just been I don't know, just more supportive than anything, right? Obviously I'm not a playing factor, so I'm just here to be morale for the boys, help manage data input, all the nitty-gritty behind-the-scenes stuff like accommodation, travel, numbers for all our meets, sourcing who can play when, stuff like that.
Oh, look, you sound like extraordinaire. Taking all the data analyst himself. Look at him go. I mean,
look, I don't do all the data. Few does a lot of it. I do kind of some different data.
He lets you know what the gym is. There you go. Got the pinpoint, the hotspot locations, the favorite locations. I mean, with all these F-5 closing around Australia. Oh, sorry, what was that, Timmy?
Yeah, Josh is right. I'm like, yep, this accommodation's about gym 500 meters down the road.
Yeah.
Dude,
Perfect.
that's all you need. Doesn't worry about the accommodation. As long as the gym is close by, that's what really matters. Oh, they're beautiful. So obviously this year you sort of got a bunch of like returning players per se, but also some new faces. So we got obviously Brodie Middleton, so someone who's returned from the UK, Australian but returned back from the UK. What's that influence been like on the team? And then obviously Benny Way joining, who was TO last year. So I guess Fued. So what's it like having Brodie Middleton back in the team, and what sort of influence has he had?
It's nice to see a different perspective on Eldar, because we've had a few different players that were potentially looking at Eldar, and they were all completely different matchups for different armies, and it's really interesting to see how they approach everything differently. So, yeah, been good.
Yeah. Have you noticed like anything special or different? Like as you said, oh wow, the UK plays this completely differently, or does this uniquely, or nah, it's just the same old, same old.
I mean, it's just nice having another good player on the team. Like every good player's got their own opinions about things.
What are you saying, Sam? What are you saying? Can you give me some sign language? I can't hear you, bruh. What are you saying?
That might be helpful if I actually mute myself.
I'm mute,
so too good. So I was going to say, so Josh, how did you select the team this year? So like, how did people apply to be part of Team New South Wales? And then like, what was the selection process like?
So this is what I told Craig from WA. What's up, Craig? We put all the names in a hat and we drew them out.
Nice. That's very convenient. You got picked out, and like everyone else with TNS got picked out. That's very convenient. No, I'm kidding. Obviously,
what do you mean everyone else? There's two of them.
No, that's true. That is true.
Yeah, but what happened was like I put my name in and I stuck them two to mine. So as it pulled my name out, they all came together. We're like a package deal.
Yeah, daisy chain. And you just like fiddle around for it. Oh, there
it is. Oh yeah, that's right. The one that I put some sand on, I picked this one out. No, realistically, like when we did selections, what we were trying to aim for is not just the player's role, but also what faction they played, and we wanted to make sure. What we had last year was we had an issue with players covering factions, whereas this year we wanted to make sure we had all our factions covered. The only people that took Knights, especially Chaos Knights, are shit. We know exactly who you are, Chaos Knights. Shit dog Nick Argent, right there. Just throwing shade, all the shade, just like, I know how to make it rain, so it's raining on Nick. But yeah, no, realistically, when we did the pairing, or not just pairings, like we were predicting like what we wanted to pair together and stuff like that. So I talked a lot with Ben Way before we picked the 16, and then we went down to the 8, obviously, as the books got stronger and we got closer to the cutoff date sort of thing. That's all we really sort of did. You know, pretty basic. We're only a basic state. We only have, 4 fingers and a thumb. So we're not like these elite states with 2 heads and 6 fingers. So
more than fair. Got to keep it simple, right? Keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple. We're still trying to afford shirts. So if anyone wants to sponsor us, like you got like a week and a bit, we need some shirts.
Too good. Come on, down to 40k, surely the home of New South Wales. They surely have to sponsor now, right? Come on, get Benny Way to like funnel some money, surely, right?
I don't know. Ben Way's such a cheapo. He's not sponsoring shit. No, he's sponsoring the team, but yeah, we're not wealthy. We're just some humble folk over here.
Very humble, very humble. That's what I think when I hear New South Wales. Humble as hell. Just always humble.
Yeah. So Queensland, when we come up, can we borrow some models? We're going to send you a list of what models we need to play.
Easy. Just go to Simon's house. There you go. You got your Eldar and your GSC already sorted, and then the rest you could work out, surely, right? Oh, too good.
Literally, we're waiting. That's why Brodie hasn't been playing fucking Eldar, because he hasn't had any models. So he's still been playing guard this whole time.
There we go. So you mentioned that. Oh, sorry, Josh. I was going to say you mentioned that you relied on factions. Most players they sort of try and do like shield and sword or like player profile. Did that come into play at all? Like, so maybe if they had a bunch of people more generally defensive rather than aggressive, like players, did that come into, I guess, decision at all? Or was it more like if you could get factions that we could teach the player how to play a certain role?
Yeah. It's, what would be the word for it? That's why we had a little bit of a shake up, like compared to the original 8 to what we're actually going to take to ATC. We had a little bit of shake up with that as well. So we actually the way that we selected all the factions, and we did take into account how the player played, and what we did is we looked through all the results from all the events, who they played, what they scored. We didn't just go, okay, cool, you want a GT, but you club seals all the way to win it. We didn't look at just that. We actually looked at who you played. Was it an easy matchup? Did you play a newer player? Did you play a veteran? All those sorts of things when we made the selections. So we went into pretty like a lot of depth. Obviously, I had a few personal dramas during the 16, and Ben Wade did a lot of the selections for the 16, and I only sort of came back in as captain sort of in December, January after trying to pick up my life crisis.
No, I understand though. That's I completely fair to understand. Like, obviously, life does take away, unfortunately, from the Warhammer as much as we love to do it. Like, sometimes shit gets in the way. So, look, it's great that Ben Wade can obviously step up and fill in. And look, he'll hold the guard steady, I'm sure. Be swift as the wind, right? Swift as the wind. And hold Timmy proud. And maybe it's just a long con. Maybe Timmy Wallace is always playing Imperial Guard and Ben Wade's just a placeholder.
Yeah, what's going to happen is I'm going to rock up to Queensland. I'm going to shave my head, and I'll be rocking the Benway look, ready to play, hat on, sunnies. No one will know it's me.
Absolutely. I mean, Benny Wade just did like a big, it's just creatine cycle. Exactly the same person. Too good. So obviously, Fued, you're always one that's sort of takes relatively unique lists, and New South Wales, I guess I'll be face to say, does a unique list. What's so the ethos in taking unique lists to an event like this? Is it just is it in the water, or why do you guys try and take quite unique lists?
For water, who drinks water?
Well, protein shakes, right?
Well, everyone's played a net list before, or at least all the more experienced players. They've played against all those net lists before.
Western Australia will call you.
They know they'll score an 8 into this, or they'll score a 12 into that. You throw something weird at them, and they're like, I think I'll go do this into it. Unless they have time to sit down and practice all those unique lists, they're like just sort of guessing, aren't they?
Sure, more than fair. And obviously just take a unique approach. People go, what the hell is this? And then get caught up. I mean, Australia used it to great effect at last year's WTC with that whole GSC list. And look, I'm sure New South Wales will absolutely do it this year and take it to great effect. Nah? Yes? Too good. So obviously got a bunch of new people on the team. So Timmy, what have you tried to do as coach to sort of help onboard these people on the team? Is it been just try to chat to them, trying to onboard them, or ask some questions? What have you helped to try to onboard them on the team?
Like I said before, I did a lot of Discord communication. Obviously Josh and Fued being pretty busy doing a lot of their duties, so I'm just kind of sometimes the middleman relaying information. I'll just ping people on Discord and just be like, yep, we need pairing matchups. We need to know who's coming. I don't know, just the mundane stuff, right? I think because I don't have that highly competitive mindset, I don't know, I just probably haven't had as much sometimes hobby burnout as everyone else, because I don't always have 100 reps into the same person. Yeah, I don't know. I just do the mundane stuff. I'm just the squirrel of the group, honestly.
Look, everyone in the team needs a squirrel, so don't you worry, man. It's a hard job, and it's not a fun job often. So I'm sure everyone pats you in the back for that.
You tell me, Sam. What have you done as the coach's ACT? And I'll just nod my head yes or no if I've done that.
I've done nothing, absolutely nothing. Just bang my head on the desk.
Did you organize the shirts? Did you do something?
No, just that's the captain's job, right? The coach does shit. No, the coach needs to provide waters. No, look, obviously,
look, we need champagne showers, all right? We need champagne showers.
Of course. So it's fair to say though, New South Wales is quite a big state. So, and you probably face of all the state teams.
Are you trying to say we're big?
You're pretty big in some ways, more ways than others.
Did you just assume things?
Absolutely, Josh. I mean, I know. But like, you guys have quite a bit of a distance to travel between, like, obviously Chris Wright and like Timmy and like Ben Way, Maitland, and Medalli area, which is like 2 hours away from Sydney, or like an hour and a half, 2 hours away from Sydney, and you guys obviously in South Sydney and stuff like that. How do you guys try and manage that distance, trying to get practice days in real life? I mean, I guess Josh, you can answer. Then Fued, maybe chime in.
Yeah, we just make everyone come towards us. So what we do is we like it's like in capture the flag. Like you put the flag up and be like, everyone has to come to this point, and we just make everyone come to us.
Fair. That works. Do you try to like host it at LGS or like some people's houses, like Eric, the infamous Eric backyards?
Yeah. So the thing for us is so like Taco and Feud are like 10 minutes away from me. So like, and Brady's like say half an hour away from us. So half the team is very close to each other, and it's just sort of like Chris and Ben that are like that live in the bush that need to come towards like the light.
And that said, there is still a lot of good players out that way that they can get those practice games off as well.
Absolutely. Dale Sutton is always there to get those undefeated reps into like just really tough.
Yeah, we don't practice, but like practice the scrubs. Like we just like rock up at the day and like so when we pair, we just like flip the cards upside down and just like it's like a shuffle.
There you go, beautiful, and just get 20. It's just easy. But Chris Wright's always first. That's the only one that works. It's like
no. Like we put Chris Wright up third. All right, everyone that wants to take notes. I know you're watching Denise. You already messaged me, asshole. We put Chris Wright up third, maybe fourth. All right, that's one free cheat.
Oh, there you go. Secret tech that's only available here. Beautiful. So Timmy, so you're like home or down under 40K. How important has it been that the DU 40K circuit sort of occurred? Obviously, New South Wales scene's growing a lot in terms of tournaments this past year and a bit. How important has it been for you and I guess the community to have like a central organization?
Look, pretty good. So when I first started like 2.5 years ago, my local game store was just like Good James Maitland, and it went off on a Tuesday, I'd say quite consistently. It was pretty busy. It was pretty busy. I never went though, hence how our group got our names. We went on Wednesday nights, just to be different. But like, yeah, I mean, slowly Down Under Network did their like two places, Maitland, Medalli, and then they went to Central Coast, and then Benny Brown slowly started Sydney. And then they started the full circuit and incorporated, events in Wagga, events in Orange, and just built up the potential for everyone to kind of be involved in a competitive aspect, casually and competitively, right? Because obviously there's always going to be the top 8 really fighting each other. But then even, in our group, we were always sending screenshots of where we were compared to each other, in the top 100. Or top 50 at the time, and going, look, we've climbed after this one event, right? And just like spoke a lot of shit and banter, but encouraged each other to do better. So I think having the luxury and the option to have games pretty readily available 2 to 3 times a month is pretty good in event wise, like, RTTs and GTs is always going to be good.
Absolutely, it's absolutely wild. I guess Richard, like, is this the busiest New South Wales has ever been, like in terms of tournaments? Like you've been playing for a while now. Has this been like the craziest in terms of tournaments?
Yeah, like what Ben and Dale have built up, and the other Ben, it's been pretty crazy. We've gone from one tournament a month at best when I started to you can normally pick up one most weekends now, which is crazy. I got to the point where I'm like, okay, well, I've got to pick which tournament I'm going to go to rather than I'll go to any that are on.
Yeah, I mean, like Mr. Big Dick Energy himself went to, like, I swear, every single event last year. So, I mean, and won the circuit overall. So there must be an event every weekend. So, Josh, like, how important has it been having like all these events? Like, did it help you grow as a player, or?
Yes and no. It's been different. Like, I don't know. As a player, it helped me grow, but in the teams, it's a lot different. Like a team's listen, the team's approach. Like, I've played less events this year and been more focused on teams and practicing for teams than I ever have been. Like, last year was more about singles, and this year, I've barely gone to an RTT, and I just have been more practicing like my team's list and my team's pairings and stuff like that. It's just it depends what you're after for the season, and it's the events while being good, it's sort of like if you're practicing for a team and then you know like you play like a bad matchup for your team's list, and then it sort of ruins your singles list. It's a weird one. If you're practicing for teams, singles is weird.
Yeah, could you explain that a bit more, like why it's so bad for your team's list, like to play singles events? Like, obviously, it's a different environment. You get some almost like tailored matchups, almost to an extent. But can you explain like why singles is potentially bad for teams?
Yeah, so when you're going for teams, like obviously you've got the 8 codexes, and you can only play. You know, everyone has one faction, so everyone that wants to be a meta chaser can only meta chase once. So certain matchups, like for example, like I was playing sisters. Like, I can be the only sisters player on the team, and then my sisters list does X, Y, Z into certain factions. But in the meta, I only have to tech into like for example, Dark Angels. I could tech away from Dark Angels and be like, cool, I can't play Dark Angels because I lose. But if I play X, Y, Z, like, you know, custos, you know, I turn off their invol and I just delete them, sort of thing. Like, it's a very different aspect when you can tech into not playing against your bad matchups. But then when you play singles, it's random pairings, and then all of a sudden round 1 you play your bad matchup and you're in trouble, sort of thing.
Yeah, more than fair.
If that sort of makes sense. It's unless you've played teams, it's it's a little bit different to sort of like, I don't know, a little bit different to take into account.
No, that makes complete sense, and a great insight for sure. So lists have been released. So this past weekend, lists have been released. Messages have been going back and forth. One list that came up for both. Good night, Daddy. There we go. So Fued. So both the Queensland tourism teams took Votan. Obviously, being a Votan yourself with a sexy beard and luscious long locks. Like, what's the chat on that? Like, what do you think about these 2 Votan lists? And like, why didn't you take them? I mean, being a Votan yourself,
So I think the go with Votan is you don't want to take Votan, Tau, and Guard. Because both Queensland didn't take Guard, they've opened up Votan.
Because they suck. Queensland suck.
That said, I was very close to taking Votan. They are so fun to play.
Oh, so. Fair enough. Maybe after the event, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Gotta love those Space Dwarves. Absolutely. But so lists have been released. So Timmy, any big surprises in the list that you saw, like from the other teams, or anything you maybe were expecting that you didn't see or weren't expecting? And
do you mean like Guard or just in general? I'm only versed in Guard. I can only talk to you about Guard, Sam. I just live and breathe it.
Let's live and breathe Guard then, Timmy. Any big surprises?
I'm trying to think who it was. Someone brought Deathcore Riders with the Deathcore Sergeant. I had literally just recently been fiddling around with trying to add them in. Not a lot, just a little bit, you know.
Tim loves a fiddle.
I do love a good fiddle. Once the hit roll modifiers got taken off the banner, I was like, cool, don't really want mortars anymore. Might throw in some more horses. Yeah, I don't know. They have a play. They're not killy like Rough Riders, but their sustainability with the 5-up Feel No Pain can just they just have play. They're just better melee as well, right? Like, I want to make a Bulgan bomb work again, but they just don't have the play. Apart from obviously, like, I probably wasn't expecting to see Necrons again. but obviously I'm sure all the actual top A tier, S tier players were potentially.
All right. So what happened with Necrons is Liam took it to the 5-man teams, and then everyone frothed on it, and then everyone took it. That's what happened. That's why Necrons are good again.
He's pretty much
and then,
it, so.
Yeah. So Liam, you're an asshole for bringing Necrons back into relevance. Now everyone has to deal with this shit again.
And he chooses not even to play, so he doesn't have to put up with it as well.
Yeah. It was like here, that meme is perfect, where like the building is burning and everyone has to deal with Necrons because of Liam.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
And he just copied the list from last year's WTC War Masters, right? He just like, well, let's just play Ghost Arcs and Warriors again. And like everyone's like, oh my god, look at the secret new tech. It's like it's been here for ages. Too good. We do have a question though in chat from Ben. So, how do you guys grade your pairings of teams? What things do you look for, and do you use like a traffic light system? So, I guess, Josh, how do you sort of grade your ratings in teams, and like, what do you try and generally do? I know for Team Australia they use like a point system, but do you try and use traffic lights?
So what we have for our pairings is a traffic lights with a point system in it. So that way, as we do the pairings, we can see the points, we can see the colors, and as we do that pairing, we'll actually like black out that whole section. So that way, like we can see what sort of matchups are going on. But yeah, I'm pretty sure at this level, if you're not doing points and traffic lights, you're not just doing colors. If you're doing colors, you should be at preschool. You need to be doing colors and points. Like literally, if ACT is like there, we need to give them a box of crayons so they can do their pairings. Like Rowan, come on, bro. Surely you can play something else other than Tyranids. Sam, I can't believe you said he was a good Tyranid player.
I mean, he's the only viable one. I mean, he's the only Tyranid player at the event, so he's the best. He's also the worst, but he's also the best. So,
yeah, but come on, bro. You saw me and him play on stream. Look, I'm gonna keep throwing shade out there because like ACT is gonna versus New South Wales round 1. Josh McMillan, you're gonna make it happen, or who's even TOing this event.
Josh Stiffy, mate. You got the wrong Josh.
There's too many. Look, there's 3 Joshes in this event. There's 3 too many. Look, we need to fucking Thunderdome it, and we need to like three Joshes enter, 1 leave.
Only one remains, right?
Yeah, that's right. So, like, it is what it is.
Is it the next one's like all the like beta Joshes that you can be alpha? Someone can be alpha Josh, and you can be just. All right. So this is the one that Ducky and me do all the time. It sucks to suck. That's just what it is. It sucks to suck, guys. Yeah. So you mentioned there, Josh, though, about the rivalry between ACT and New South Wales. Like, what is this whole thing about? So maybe Richard, you can allude to it. Like, why is there like this rivalry between ACT and New South Wales?
Because we're only about 2-3 hours away from each other. Look, Newcastle's nearly as far as ACT is for us. So we've played each other a lot. I think I've played just about everyone on the ACT team at some point or seen them around. I can say that a lot more than I can about just about any other state.
Yeah, more than fair. And over this past weekend, definitely been some shade throw-in. I mean, the meme wars are truly underway. How is it to sort of have this rivalry? And like, obviously, it is quite friendly rivalry, but how good is it to have this rivalry and hopefully a now tradition of ACT New South Wales playing? Maybe Josh, you can allude to it.
Oh, definitely, bro. Like realistically, I took a lot of this meme war and that sort of stuff from so Middle Earth has a lot of these memes sort of thing, like player versus player. But taking it state versus state it just makes it more fun. And realistically, like when people say competitive 40 players, a little bit like dickish, I think competitive 40 players are like the best guys out there. Like I'm more excited. Like, I've been talking to Denise and Ducky and stuff like that, and I'm more excited to go and see them than play them. Like, it's a different sort of it's a different relationship once you get to that sort of level. Once you go into ACT or ATC, even the guys from ACT, like, I just want to go and fuck around with throwing and just talk shit. Like, it's camaraderie and you know, everyone plays by intent, and it's just a different level of gaming. And this weekend, like the weekend of the event, is just fun, and you get to play around like a good bunch of guys. Same as like when we played Masters last year. If Ben Way had have not been a shit dog and actually got a photo of how many martinis we had on that table, we were just out there drinking with each other, and that's the sort of thing that everyone's like state versus state, but it's more versus mate. Like everyone that's going to these events, we're all friends with each other. You know, everyone's paid money to go and play, and it's just like coming from WTC, like the friendships that I made at that event, money can't buy those friendships. Like Jez's toe fetish, like that's something to that'll go on for the ages. Like,
there we go. Priceless, right? Priceless.
it's priceless. Like if you ask Denise about me pissing all through the room, like it's just one of those things. Like money can't buy that sort of happiness.
Oh, too good. It costs you like $2,000 in flights to go to Europe, but money, you can't buy the happiness, right?
Yeah, you can't buy the happiness. If you ask Denise about the night that I got written off and like destroyed the room, like you can't buy that in Australia.
No, absolutely not.
I mean,
absolutely not.
Look, you didn't destroy my room, but you did get fucking butt-ass naked in my car one night, so there's that.
What do you mean? I don't get naked.
Look, half the Wednesday night boys would definitely beg to disagree. They seen a snake that was inside the car that wasn't there before you got in. That's all I'm saying.
Look, you did not make me put clothes on to go back into the event. I'm not saying that.
That seems like some after-hours stories.
Yeah.
Warhammer After Dark. That's what that is.
Look, I remember there was this one time I asked Craig to have a sword fight with me. Craig from Western Australia, but that never happened either. I just have like videos on my phone. I don't even know what happened that night, but we went to VTC and it was a rough day in the office.
Oh, wow. Sounds like some stories. And it sounds like Daniel, I don't know if it's maybe too soon, but destroyed half of Sister's army. What happened there?
Oh, well, poor Dan. So during CrewCon, I was just there for the drinks. I wasn't really there to play games. I dropped after day one. I got pretty drunk and ended up at the football, and then I ended up in Tim's car without clothes on. But my sister's army may have taken a tumble, and my poor mate Dan had to help me so I could go to the next event because sisters were missing arms, and it was a rough day. It was a rough day for the old sisters army.
Oh, those poor things.
Poor things. I don't even know how I got home, but I got home, so that's the only thing that matters.
That's the only thing that matters. Oh, too good. So Tim, you're a mono-faction person. We've alluded to a bunch before. How would you sort of encourage people to stick to one army and only play it, like even during the rough times, and try and, I guess, find some encouragement if you're feeling a bit bored with it?
Look, I mean, obviously it's all just about your play style with the game, right? Like when I first started playing, it was just with a bunch of mates. I went to events not looking to win. Like my goal was just to meet people, win one game if I could, and just have fun, right? It was a good way to spend 10 hours of my weekend, meet new people, socialize. And unless you're meta chasing, like there's usually a point of the army that drew you to it. Like for me, I already had some of the models. I got them given to me from my older brother. No one in my group played the army, so I just kind of got drawn to it. There was reasons for it. Like there's a point that you chose that army at some point, I'm sure. Even just changing lists, trying new models, and just wanting to play for fun. Like we used to drop back from 2,000 point games because they would take us so long to like 1,000 or 1,500, and you'd just have more fun playing those few less models and relaxing a little bit more rather than just going every game is about winning. Obviously, it's different, at ATC when it is about winning a bit more.
That's right. Every game matters. Every game's about winning.
Every game matters and every point matters. Yes, but for your lower level players, like, and sticking with an army, like, your time will come again, right? I waited 2.5 years, still didn't climb my way to the top, but I have fun, and there's just a reason. Like, I don't know.
Sure, find
there's a point.
You can have it.
Yeah, there's a point that drew you in. Maybe buy some models you already have, but paint them differently and use them instead. Like, just find new inspiration somewhere. You'll figure it out.
No, wise words. Who would have thought that from the born soldier Catachan man himself? But he's a wise man. Beautiful. So Fued. So who do you expect to be on the podium for this year's ANZTC? Like who are your top three?
Tasmania.
Well, I think New South Wales and Tasmania is going to have a very close battle in the finals. So we're definitely up there. And then after that, I'm interested to see if New Zealand can get back in there.
Love you, Liam.
That said, the Queensland Merc team also looks very strong.
Yeah, my boy Denise.
Yeah, absolutely. Very looks like a good team. Obviously, the B team of Queensland, but I'm sure they have a point to prove. Josh, who do you think is going to make it this year for the top three?
Like, do you want me to take the piss out of NHO, Eric, or what?
Look, you do what you want. You've done what you wanted all night, so why stop now?
Realistically, just to throw shade on every other state, because, why even, like, I told Craig, why bother flying over when you guys aren't even going to get a podium? So Western Australia, you guys don't have Soli, you guys can't pay to win anymore, so why bother flying over? Tasmania, you guys are just fanboys. It is what it is. New Zealand, I don't know, man. Like, it's like what's the thing where it's like a GoFundMe, Make a Wish. That's the one. New Zealand's like a Make a Wish team. So if we gave New Zealand like Make a Wish, Northern Territory, I heard Scott Bernard is like making a guest appearance. So that could be, could be a force of reason. I heard he, rattled a few trees when he came over last time. No, but honestly, like, the jokes aside, South Australia suck. Napier's not even coming to play. But it's New South Wales versus Queensland for the win. Like, all the other states suck. Victoria, NHO. You guys, your best player doesn't actually play for you. So what did you guys do wrong? Like, Soli's your best player. If you need to suck his toe, Poland did it. Hayden did it. Why can't you guys do it? Like, Jez Fantasy, like, you guys saw the meme. Like, when Jez is doing pairings, all he's thinking about is toes. I've sent him some really good toes of friends, we will say. I've sent him some really good toe pictures, and that's all Jez needs is a couple of good toe suckings, and Soli will be back on the team. And you guys will actually be, we'll actually hear about you. But at the moment, you like NHO, like Queensland, Liam's not even playing for you, so he must think you guys suck too. So I love you, Eric, but we're coming for you, bro. Like, I'm going to build a wall, and like we're going to make sure like no one can jump over it. Taco, I'm sorry you're going to be on the other side too, because I know you have like a hindrance about jumping over walls. So you're going to be over there with Eric. The short people and the Mexicans.
I love how he's roasted every team and he didn't even mention ACT.
Because they don't exist.
I mean, we saw the state chart before. I mean, we went on there, so I mean, fair enough. And look, we've had a meme sent in for the chat, so look, you don't need to worry about getting dressed when you already know the color system and how they actually count numbers. So look, that's all matters, right?
I'm dressed. I have underwear on. That's all you need as a stripper. Like, once this is done, guys, I'm going to like do my night job. Got to get them dollars in. Got to make it rain.
Got to make it work somehow. Timmy, who are your predictions heading into this year? Like, who do you think is going to make the top three?
Top three. That's a great question. Look, New South Wales. We'll just take 1, 2, and 3, right? I'll easily stand in number 3. I'm that big. Josh will stand on number 1. with Chris Wright towering over him behind him because he's the Terminator.
Hey, fucking ease up, Turbo.
And yeah, the rest of us will be on number 2. Now, honestly, like New South Wales, I think one of the Queensland teams, it really just depends on pairings and how that plays. Like there's obviously a chance that both Queensland teams end up there, but there's also the chance that both Queensland teams pair into each other at one point and could immediately knock the other one off. Same with New Zealand. Honestly, I fucking never hear anything about New Zealand, but when I asked the boys who had won ATC previously, they said that New Zealand had won twice before, I think. So, like, maybe they could do it again. It'd be nice, you know. I think it'll be interesting just to see kind of what their play style is like, being so distant from us. Like, we always talk about how America plays differently to us and, you know, the UK and everything. So someone so close but so far will be interesting to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're playing play-place terrain over there, so basically they are playing US systems. So, look, they don't know what WTC is. No, I'm kidding. They do actually know, and they have a team sending over this year, but it'll be a learning experience for sure for them. But before we wrap things up, so Josh, you mentioned there that WA is not having Solly. How big of a blow is it? Like, why is Matt Morris Solly, as you deemed, Victoria's best player? Like, what is it about him that makes him the best player?
Have you seen that man's toe?
I
that is the hottest toe in 40K. I've never seen a guy deep throat that thing. Oh my god! Seeing Poland captain just deep throating that toe was like the best thing at WTC. Timmy, mate, don't you tempt Solly with a good time. Jez will be taking screenshots of that, and he'll be whacking off to that tonight. Love you, Jez. Honestly, like. Solly did all their pairings. Solly did everything for Western Australia last year. It was like, you know, like when the carer takes a disability kid like to wherever he goes. That's what Solly was like. Solly just did everything for Western Australia, and now you guys don't have Solly. I don't know how well you're gonna go. Like, it's a bit of a rough day in the office. You know what I mean?
I'm sure Lockie Brigg will do. I'm sure Lockie will take him to victory and do their best for sure.
Are you sure he's going to set the clock right? But like, you know, we're going to keep throwing shade out there. We're going to keep throwing it out there.
We'll work it out. I'm sure. Also, we'll make sure no prisoner points are counted because we've learned from the Americans they can't count. So look, we'll work it out nationwide. We've got that figured out. We've got that arithmetic figured out.
No prisoners. We're going to make sure everyone has their psychic powers correct. Fued, can you change our Bellacore powers while you're there?
Sorry, I change every Tau power I have. Twice.
All right. Tim, just make note that all our Tau psychic powers have been changed, just to make sure that our lists are in line with Queensland, so that like when we do the pairings, all the psychic powers are the same.
We'll just change them on the table.
Change them on the table.
I was like old school 40k editions, right? You could choose your powers or relics at the table. We're just preparing for 10th, right? We're just preparing for 10th by adapting on the fly.
It's like DIY rules. Like do it yourself rules.
Yeah. Anything we've heard about 10th, we're just using those rules now.
There we go.
Look, if you rock up to the table and there's no terrain against a gun line, well, it's DIY terrain, so we're just not going to use any of this. And I picked table and I picked a DIY table.
You get 5 minutes.
It's player place. It's player place, but all the fucking terrain's on the floor.
Yeah, imagine if it was a player built terrain. Like you rock up to the table and like it's like Survivor. You guys need to build the terrain and then play the game.
That's how players there hiding the glue.
They try to build. Does it work? Sorry, I'm really sorry.
They're trying to make alliances, and then at the end of it, it's like, look, you lost the round. You've been evicted. You don't play the next round.
Yeah, I heard they swung by Clash and picked up some of the terrain there to build. So you know that's where they got it. For the guard and tower players, they just use the Clash terrain.
Yeah, did they use the stream terrain or that was fucking terrible?
Stream was great.
Yeah.
Don't talk about
Don't talk about the rest. Don't talk about the rest. So before we close things out, Feud, any final shout outs or plugs for yourself?
I don't know, not really. No.
Nothing. No worries.
Already
Josh,
think.
any? Yeah, happy days. Josh, any plugs, shout outs?
Oh, that's me. Yeah, of course. Like WCT guys, whatever we're called, the Australian guys, we're all right. We're a bunch of hot guys. We're gonna go over there and slay a bunch of Euro chicks and stuff. Honestly, the plugs like TNS, we're a bunch of good guys, good cunts, whatever you want to call it. These knobs have come up from nowhere and they think they're going to take our spot. And Chad Mech, we stopped taking them members so that you guys could have some members, and then all of a sudden you guys forget that we exist. We're actually really good. So, and we're going to go to events and stuff and win events. All right, Fued, you actually have to make sure Taco doesn't have any birthdays.
Yeah, he has for you.
All right, so our running joke is if Taco can't get over a wall and he has a birthday, he can't get to an event. That's one of the two things that Taco, he always suffers with one of those two things, a wall or a birthday. So he can't get to all the events. But no, just honestly, everyone in the New South Wales community has been, really good. Moving forward, I don't even care about going to events and I don't care about going there and trying to win. I just care about hanging out with everyone. And I enjoy my weekends when I get to play games with people I haven't seen in a long time and stuff like that. And I'm just more about building the community, and I'm just proud to be the captain of my state. And, I'm going to take that into ATC, and we're just going to gutter stomp all you other cunts. There's no other way to put it, but Eric, you are my father, but, you saw what Skywalker did to Darth Vader, and that's you, bro.
There we go. So fighting words, absolutely fighting words. Timmy, any plugs or final shout-outs before we wrap things up?
Not too many. Hey, men of few words. Shout out to the Wednesday night boys. We're the underdogs of New South Wales. We go to every event we can. We always bottom feed the tables and look for wooden spoons, best dressed or faction best. Other than that, congratulations to myself. Recently engaged. So good job to my partner for one, saying yes.
Tim, mate, Tim,
but two,
we're here to play 40K, not your fucking life achievements, cunt. God damn it, bro.
But also, congrats for her understanding. Letting me go to all these events and have a social life.
You had one job. Stay focused. You've got 2 weeks left. Stay focused. She doesn't matter. We're going to win the event. And then you can go home and, stick cheese some fucking trophy. And, you can let her lick these nuts.
Well, look, she doesn't like me coming home. She doesn't like me coming home a loser, so we have to come back a winner.
Fucking oath, bro. No one else has got a chance. All you other states suck. We're just auto pairing. Have you got that AI pairing system ready?
Yeah, I can post up a screenshot somewhere.
Yeah,
just
fuck
to make it good.
Hey, Nick Argent. You and your Chaos Knight list, go fuck yourself. I love you. I love you, Nick.
Well, better not use the AI agent because you sadly can't use it anymore. The WTC ruined it all.
What do you mean? That's WTC rule. We're not even playing WTC rule. Is that right? Because I'm pretty sure. Is that right? Are we using that?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Is there specifically a rule against it?
Yeah, it's in the WTC players pack.
Fuck. Well, I was elected to lead, not to read. So you guys have got me covered, right?
It's not AI, it's a very smart guessing program.
There you go. It's an Excel spreadsheet, I swear.
Look, I can play the denial game, and I have no idea what's going on. I'm just auto pairing. What's the answer to number 1?
Josh just shuffles the cards and throws them down anyway, so it doesn't matter what we tell him.
Hey, we did that at one event, and we just we won the event. I literally was like, cool, this is it. We're going straight up with this guy. Whoever it is, you're fucked. And we won the event, so
can't predict us when we can't predict us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you don't know what's going up, they will have no idea at all. So, boom, there we go. So before we wrap things up, got some final plugs. So, patreon.com/down to 40k. These are the guys who produce events all around New South Wales and looking to try and grow the community and add extra content for us. So, if you want to throw a couple of bucks, be greatly appreciated. D6 designs they use, they make all these beautiful dice. I know the D down on 40k is sponsored for a long time. So, D40KL does some great dice, great designs. And then last but not least, Emperor. So emperor.cc, get 20% off your minis and any other hobby products. So hooroo. So thanks guys for joining tonight. It's been an eventful podcast to say the least. a lot of words said. Very eventful. Very eventful.
Eventfully means best so far.
Fuck
yeah, absolutely.
Do you know why? Because you're talking to this is like the pre-winners chat before the winners chat. So we'll talk to you in 2 weeks, bruh, and it'll be like that, right, Brad?
Well, we'll have to definitely get.
Literally, I had this guy call me bread once, and I was like, "What the fuck are you saying to me? You called me bread, like a piece of bread." And I just
look. I mean, what happens at plumbing sites happens at plumbing sites, right? It's too good. All right, thank you very much, lads, and thanks for everyone listening. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having us.
see you, lads.